Right, morning guys. So this is probably like my least favourite task of the week. So every Wednesday I go over to the butcher's. I'm very fortunate that I've actually got a sponsor, which is AP Meat, and they provide me with all my meat and protein for the week. So every single week I get 5 kilos of chicken, and that lasts me the whole week. So what I do is on a Wednesday I get the chicken, dice it all up nice and small, bag it up, then freeze it. So I'm going to get that done now. Also, these beautiful steaks. So I've got these steaks to last me a week. So I go for sale on at the moment. Extra lean mince as well. So that's steak mince because I have 2 red meat meals on a rest day. And then also, they don't normally have fish, but they've got salmon in. So I picked up some salmon because sometimes on a rest day, I'll either have extra lean mince as an additional meal, or I'll have salmon. And then just a few bits for the kids as well, so sausages, some kind of like extra lean plain bacon medallions, and some chicken nuggets. So I'm going to crack on, get this ready. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, because today I'm going to be showing you a full day of eating, because we are 8.5 weeks out from the first show of the year. Right, so time for meal number 1, and it is 10 to 9. So I actually did my cardio at 6 a.m. this morning, so I always try and put it off as long as possible before getting my first meal in, because I always find that as soon as you eat your first meal and that ghrelin hormone's rushing around your body, you just start feeling hungry. So I tend to find that when I wake up in the morning, my appetite's not that high, but then as soon as I get the first meal in, I'm hungry for the rest of the day. So I always find that a little trick is that the further you put that first meal, then you can kind of cram the rest of the meals a little bit closer together so you're not waiting so long. That's just what works for me. So meal number 1, we've got it here. There's 80 grams of porridge oats. So if you see my previous full day of eating videos, this used to be 100 grams. So I've just knocked it back by 20 grams. And there's also 50 grams of protein. And I'm still using the Perform Whey, which is really, really nice. Because it's a concentrate, it's a bit thicker than an isolate, so it kind of gives you more volume when you're eating it. And this is actually the blueberry muffin flavour, and they get the flavour profiles so correct, because this almost just feels like you're eating like a giant blueberry muffin. It is great. Also going to wash it down with a black coffee. I'm going to do some work, and I'll catch up with you guys for meal number 2. Right, so meal prep time. So what I'm going to be doing is prepping 2 chicken and rice meals for today and 2 chicken and rice meals for tomorrow, because I like to cook in bulk, because I literally don't want to be spending every minute of the day cooking meals fresh. So this is what I was doing earlier. So as you can see, once I've got the chickens in the bag, I literally defrost them, dump them straight in there, add the old faithful tandoori masala seasoning, whack it on it, 18 minutes in the oven. Whilst that's cooking, I get the rice on, and I say this all of the time: do not buy the Uncle Ben's packet rice. It literally takes about 12 minutes approximately to cook some rice. So buy it in bulk. A big bag of basmati rice will last you a month, and it's literally about 10 quid. Rather than buying those sachets, there's about £1 per meal. Top money saving advice, as always, from the tight ass northern there that doesn't like spending money. So I'm going to get this meal prep done now. I'm going to show you the end result, and then I'm going to eat, because I've put this meal off long enough and I'm hungry. Right, so that is the food prep all done and dusted. So 4 meals all done in literally the space of 20 minutes. So here we have the end result right there. Good old fashioned chicken and rice. So with every single meal I have tomato sauce. This is the 50% less salt and sugar one. So I have this on every single meal. And also what I'm having at the moment is this sriracha chili sauce. Now, it has got quite a lot of sugar in it, but literally the amount that I actually put on there is very, very minimum. So it's not going to cause too much damage. I won't have it as I get closer to the show. I usually switch it up for like Cholula, because it's got no sugar in it. But I just like that bit of spice in my meals. So I'm going to eat this now. I've got a few more plans to write for clients. And then I've got some man jobs to do, which I'll show you what they are in a minute. Right, so 2 o'clock, time for another feed. So this is my pre-workout meal. So I've literally got one bagel with some delicious jam. This is probably like my favourite meal of the day. I usually have peanut butter on it as well, just to try and slow down the digestion of the carbs. But because I'm trying to pull out a few calories, I've pulled out the calories from fats for this meal. So solely carbs, got about 70 grams of carbs right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and train shoulders in about 45 minutes. So I'll have this, I'll have some pre-workout, I'll show you guys what that is, and I'll show you what we've got in store for today's workout. But right now, I'm going to enjoy this because on prep, bagel and jam, it is just too good. Right, so just going to make my pre-workout now. So I think today I'm going to go for Redcon's Double Tap. So it's more of a fat burner, really, than a pre-workout. But it has got 150 milligrams of caffeine in it. And that's all I want right now because I'm not going to lie, I feel a little bit tired. And then what I'm going to have into a workout is some essential amino acids. Again, this one's Grunt from Redcon. I must say I really like the flavours from Redcon. And I think when you're dieting, you've kind of got that sweet tooth. If you can find like a pre-workout or an intra-workout that actually tastes good, it just makes the whole experience a whole lot better. Like I definitely feel like this week, although my calories have only slightly dropped, I'm definitely noticing cravings coming in a lot more this week. But it's all part of the process. We get over it. 8.5 weeks to push, then we can enjoy some nice food. But I'm going to get this double tap in me, and then we're going to go in the gym. I'm going to show you guys what we'll be doing for today's shoulder session. Right, so before we go in the gym and train, let me show you guys what I've been doing today. So if you can see behind me here, I've got to put all of the fence going all the way along to the bottom of the garden. But for some reason, everywhere is sold out of postcrete. So I think because no one's been able to spend the money in lockdown, everyone is spending it on doing the gardens up and making the houses look nice and ready for the summer. So I've pretty much managed to get the bottom bits in, if you can see here. So I've dug the holes for them. Just got to now finish off going all the way down the bottom. But I don't want to do too much more until I get the postcrete so I know where they sit. But that's what I've been doing all day. So I don't just sit on my ass all day, train, eat, sleep, repeat. I do that 90% of the time, but Lucy does get me doing other jobs as well. But time to go and train some shoulders. Right, so I've just warmed up. I've not gone through like the whole warm-up routine. I did that on a previous video, but what I might do is a full video showing you guys the importance of shoulder health, and also some movements that you can do before any kind of upper body workout. It's very important to make sure that your rotator cuffs and your shoulders are nice and prime, ready for a big session. So you'll notice I'm doing shoulders today, and a lot of my emphasis whilst I'm training shoulders is the middle delt, because I really want to get that cap on my shoulders. In the early stages, I always used to do a lot of pressing, but I only actually do one pressing movement now. All the other exercises are solely focused on trying to get that big, round, boulder shoulder look, because when you're doing classic bodybuilding, your shoulders can't be too big, because all that does is when your shoulders are big, it just creates that V-taper illusion. So when you've got a small waist and big shoulders, it just really overemphasizes that classic look. So that's my focus at the moment, is just trying to get those shoulders nice and capped off. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a cuff side lateral raise. I quite like using a cuff because at the moment I've got quite a lot of tendonitis in my forearms. That's mainly from bloody digging those fence posts in. So it just takes the pressure off my grip in my forearm and just puts a lot of emphasis through the shoulder. So we can do 3 sets of this to get warmed up. So let me show you. So what you've got to do is I like to stand nice and close to the cable, and then what I do is I then tilt my body away, okay? And then holding onto the bar, and you're going to come up in line with the shoulder, back down, like so. So all the emphasis is on that medial head of the delt, and I'm just going to do 15, nice and controlled. Right, exercise number 2 then. So this is going to be a seated side lateral raise, so still working on that medial part of the deltoid. So I actually do these a little bit differently. It just prevents me from using any momentum. So I like to put my feet up on the bench, back nice and straight, chest up. I actually bring the dumbbells and I almost push them into my glute. And we're raising them up, slowly down, then push the dumbbells into your glute. Just flex those shoulders, back up, 2. Right, so third exercise, now we're going to move on to a compound movement. So this is actually my third set. I've done 2 warm-up sets, just doing 8 reps, and this is my 1 heavy working set. So I'm not going really low in the rep range, so I'm only doing 40 kilos, but I'm going to try and make sure I get double digits with this. So since I had a shoulder injury quite a while ago, my recovery has been really good so far, and I've not had any pain in my left shoulder, just from being a bit smart with training. So I'm not throwing stupidly heavy dumbbells around, and I'm making sure that if I do a pressing exercise or my compound exercise, it's always towards the middle of my workout and my shoulders are already fatigued, and I'm not as strong as if I'd put this movement first. So no ego in the workouts at the moment. Sometimes you've got to train a little bit smarter. So we'll see how many we can get with this. I don't know if we can count that last one or not. I'll have to watch it back. That was either 15 or 14 3/4, but yeah, high reps, decent amount of weight, but keeping it nice and controlled, and it's a hell of a pump. Whew. I feel like this is a bit of a posing stand, isn't it? Hand on hip, leaning into it. Right, so this is exercise number 4. So what I'm going to be doing here is a wide grip upright row. Now the wider the grip, the more you're working the medial delt rather than working the traps. I don't actually do any exercises directly for traps because I feel like my traps are already pretty big, and I find that when you're competing in classic, you don't really want really overpowering traps because in my opinion it just takes away from that prettiness of the physique. Mass monsters, absolutely, when you're doing that crab, most muscular, you want massive traps, but we don't hit that pose in classic. As long as your traps are good from the back, which mine are because I've done years and years of heavy deadlifting, my traps have had lots of stimulus over the years, so I don't really want my traps to be any bigger. So this movement is solely to try and hit the sweep of my shoulders and just very slightly on the traps. Let me show you how to do it. Right, so fifth and final exercise then is going to be a dumbbell front raise. So this is going to hit the front of the delt. I don't do too many movements of front delts because whenever you're doing any kind of pressing movement or if you're doing any kind of chest movement, you're always involving a little bit of front delt. So I'm really mindful that I don't want to overtrain it too much, because it can cause some disturbance and a few niggles when you're training chest if your front delts were a little bit over fatigued. So I'm going to do 3 sets on this. You'll notice that I don't hit rear delt, so I'm training shoulders. I always hit rear delt on a back day. I just find it better that way. So always on shoulder day, medial, front head, a little bit of trap, and then on back day, we hit the rear delts then. Right, let's go, nearly finished. Right, that was actually a very, very good workout. Really enjoyed that one, but not as much as I'm gonna enjoy this post-workout meal. So we've got 70 grams of the honey loops. So I try an experiment to see which breakfast cereal gives me the most volume for 70 grams, and these ones are pretty good. I will eventually swap this out. I just feel like when I'm eating cereals, it doesn't make me feel like I'm in prep for some reason. So I will eventually move this meal onto cream of rice, but at the minute, there's no need to. I enjoy it, I'm getting leaner, so we're progressing, which is what it's all about. I've also got 50 grams of whey protein. Again, this is the Perform Whey. This is the chocolate batter flavour. Like, out of all the flavours I've tried of their brand, it's not my favourite, but it still tastes really good. I might actually do like a full video on the different flavours I've tasted. So there's a few more that I'm going to order as well, but definitely recommend their protein, guys. It is very, very good. Right, so I'm going to eat this, because I'm not going to lie, I'm starving hungry. I'll catch you guys for the next meal. Right then, so time for another meal. I've literally just got out the bath. I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with like late afternoon, early evening baths. It's just very relaxing. It's kind of like my therapy. So meal number, what number is it? I think it's meal number 5. So same meal as I prepped earlier. So just 70 grams of basmati rice and 200 grams of cooked chicken. So I'm gonna get this down me now, and then there's one more meal to eat. Got a little bit more work just to catch up on. But this week has actually been pretty good, because I've seen my condition changing quite a lot. So last week, I wasn't too happy with how it went, but you know, the results are still there. I'm just putting basically too much pressure on yourself. And this is sometimes part of the problem when you're prepping yourself. You're always second guessing everything you're doing. But you know, it's just part of the process. You know, you always have your good days and your bad days. But I did take some check-in pictures yesterday, and you know, I sent it to a few people that I know, and the difference was absolutely insane. But I didn't have a cheat meal on Saturday, which I think's made quite a big difference for me, just to catch up on that condition, because I'm way ahead of where I need to be, but I'm a little bit concerned, because the show in 8.5 weeks, if I did that show, I'd need to be 87 kilos, which I haven't been that weight on stage for a long, long time. Like I said, the last time I competed, I was like 91 kilos. But at the moment, I'm 92.8 kilos, and I'm pretty lean, to be fair. I could probably get ready in maybe 4 to 6 weeks if I pushed it a little bit harder. So I'm still waiting. I'm still going to prep as if I'm working towards that show in 8.5 weeks. But if I don't make the weight, I don't want to basically lose any muscle or sacrifice any muscle tissue that I've spent so long trying to build. Building muscle for me is very difficult. So when I do build it, I need to keep it. So if that does happen, and I can't get down to the weight, then I'll do the PCA Hampshire show, which is in 10.5 weeks. So I'm miles ahead of where I need to be for 10.5 weeks. So that's the current update on prep. Very happy with where I'm at now. Like, I think sometimes it's just to do with like the camera, the lighting. You've just got to get everything perfect and then get those good photos just to feel good about yourself. So, but yeah, this week is going good. But I need to eat, because this chicken and rice is just looking at me in the face, and I'm starving. So I'm going to eat this, and I'll catch up with you guys for the final meal of the day. Right, so it's now time for the final meal of the day. Another day all the boxes ticked off, ready to start fresh tomorrow. So the final meal of the day is right here. So I've got a big juicy steak that you saw this morning. And these veggies, it's kind of, what is it? It's courgette, aubergine, and like mixed peppers. We just kind of get it pre-made from Marks and Spencer's because it tastes real good. 20 minutes in the oven, job's good and really easy to prepare. So this is the last meal, and then before bed, scoop of Support Max Neuro, cortisol, and relaxation tool to help me get a beautiful night's sleep. But that is a full day of eating, guys, 8.5 weeks out. So I'll pop the macros on the screen here so you guys know what they are. And also, so I know what they are, because I won't lie to you. I don't count calories, I don't count macros. I just weigh all my food out and I pull back calories from either carbs or fats as I'm going along the process. But I kind of know what I'm doing, so I don't track it. I've done this so many times now. I don't need to be tracking macros and all that kind of jazz. But if that's you, that's absolutely fine. I also do it for my clients because they're generally interested. But my diet always stays the same. I just slightly reduce the portion sizes. But anyway, I'd love to stay and chat to you all night. But this steak's looking at me. I'm hungry. I'm tired. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, peace. Love you.